Hey guys, we've got the Copen in the workshop for some work, which that'll be in another video. Purpose of this video is to talk about ABS sensors. We had a knackered wheel bearing, driver's side front wheel bearing on this Copen, and we replaced the wheel bearing, which involves taking the hub off and disconnecting to get the hub off, caliper, disc, track rod end, suspension, shock absorber, lower ball joint, and then you can remove the hub, press out the old bearing, press in the new bearing. But one of the things that you have to remove is you have to take the ABS sensor off, which is just held in with a simple 13mm bolt and plugged in up the top there, up the top of the wheel arch. But getting the old sensor out is near on impossible on these. I don't know if anyone successfully got one out. I've heard rumours that people have literally scrapped Copens because they can't replace the ABS sensor. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Seems a bit extreme. But we could not get ours out. It was seized in completely, and I tried all sorts to get it out in one piece, and the only way I could get it out was to tap it out from the front side, because that's you could just get through one of the gaps in the teeth on the ABS sensor ring and just put a screwdriver in there and hit it with a hammer and get it out that way, which completely ruins the ABS sensor. This is the old sensor, and as you can see, it's mutilated on the end where I've been whacking at it with a hammer and a screwdriver to get it out. So the chance of that ever working again is very slim. So onto the internet, as you do, look for an ABS sensor, typical Daihatsu. Nothing available, not even second hand. So I did some more internet research, see if anyone else had had this problem, and I couldn't find much information. Spoke to a guy called John Britton, who is a well-known breaker and dismantler and part seller for Daihatsu Copens, and he said he'd see if he could get one out of a hub that he's got there, and he had the same problem as I did, seized in, not going to come out. So he suggested that he could sell me the whole hub, and I just replace the whole hub, which would have obviously the sensor in it already. So that was one option, but because I just fitted a brand new wheel bearing, I didn't really want to get another hub and either have to fit a new wheel bearing to that, or take the risk of that wheel bearing being any good that's in there, or swapping wheel bearings over and stuff like that. So I thought, well, we know we can't get brand new ABS sensors for Copens. We know that there's very few, if any, second-hand ones for sale anywhere. So I thought there must be other ABS sensors that fit or work or could be adapted. And I'd done a few sort of researches and tried to find things that looked similar in relation to where the bolt hole was in relation to how it sits in the hub, etc. And something, this is so mutilated, I couldn't really tell what it looked like, but to me, it doesn't show up, it's covered in, they're magnetic, so it's covered in rusty particles, but you can see it's got like a line, a metal line, and I think looking at others, I could only find ones with two metal lines, and I could find ones with one central metal line. Well, because that one is offset, I presume that this must have had two metal lines, and there's other sensors that look completely different. So I found some that had two metal lines like this with a metal casing here, and this part in the right sort of location for the wire to come away from the hub, not collide into the hub. And turns out what I came up with, because I was expecting to buy several and discard a few and keep trying, but the one that I first ordered before I ordered anything else was from a Mitsubishi Shogun and Mitsubishi Challenger. I'm not sure on the years. I'll put the information up at the bottom of this video when I go inside and find it, and I'll put a picture up now so that you can see what a new one for Mitsubishi looks like. and it turns out that that actually worked. You do have to do some modifications. Excuse the slightly cowboy approach, but basically to get it to sit the right distance from the ABS sensor ring, you need to space it out, and that is, it's an M8 bolt. I think I've used an M8 by 45 bolt, and let's see if I can get some light on this. Bear with me. Let's try that. There we go. So it's an M8 by 45 bolt, and then there is a washer, and then there's an M10 nut, and then there's two more washers. I think it's two. Yes, two more washers. And from the calculations that I'd worked out, that is the correct spacing. And what I did was I got a feeler gauge and measured the gap between the face of the sensor and the ABS ring, and I measured it on the passenger side, which has still got an original Daihatsu ABS sensor, and that came out at 10 thou, and I'll put at the bottom what that is in English. So I got it measured on this side, and that combination of nuts and washers makes that sit exactly at 10 thou as well, and that works. The other end of the Mitsubishi ABS sensor has a different plug on. Hang on, just sorting out the lighting situation. That's the plug off of the Mitsubishi, so cut that off because that's completely different to Daihatsu, and basically connected the Daihatsu plug, cut the Daihatsu plug off the end of the Daihatsu faulty ABS sensor, and connected that plug onto the Mitsubishi one, plugged it in, turned the car on, ABS light comes on when you turn the ignition on and now goes off. Start the car up, ABS light comes on, then goes off, as it, you know, when you start the car. So it's all working as it should. So I'm chuffed to bits. I think the sensor cost me about 13 quid off eBay. I actually think it's a passenger side one that I used, because the driver side one, the location of the wire and the bolt hole, yeah, there wouldn't have been right. So, but I'll put that information up on the bottom of this video for you. So anyone else that's got problems with ABS sensors, that's the solution. I can't see any reason why, if you were doing a passenger side one, then I would use the front driver side Mitsubishi Shogun Challenger ABS sensor, because it's just a reversal of the one that I used. So hopefully this helps some of you guys, and I'll bring you more cool tips and tricks as I discover and think my way out of situations with Daihatsu Copens and lack of parts availability. Right, until next time, see you later.